This is, boy, I mean, it's such a complicated thing when you have another spouse that feels differently. When there is something, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's something called the Universal Unitarian, or Unitarian
Universalist
Church.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like something that a lot of atheists attend, and it's an interfaith church that has even atheist members. So a lot of people that are looking for community and who are sort of in a situation where there's this religious ambiguity like you're describing, will attend these UU churches.
Yeah.
And that's why I was kind of asking about your wife and where she's at. I don't know but it would be an easy transition to get the kids into a UU situation where they probably wouldn't notice anything beyond we changed churches.
Yeah.
And then they would be in a situation where, at the very least, they wouldn't be being indoctrinated into a highly specific fundamentalist religion. They would have a real open playing field with lots of different religious beliefs, including no religion, that would be presented. I'm sorry, what?
What was the name of that organization?
They're the Unitarian Universalists. Yeah. And they're just big interfaith so that you can keep the society and the structure of like a church situation. And they do the few sermons, I'm going to put sermons in quotes, the few sermons I've heard from UU preachers have actually been more like lectures on religious, like comparative religion. So it's actually kind of educational in that they'll talk about religious histories or religions in different parts of the world. It's actually not a bad place to go if that's the kind of structure that you're looking for and you have a family and you want that kind of social, backbone.
Yeah. Another option, Bill, is ethical culture societies. And you can just do a Google search on ethical culture and you should come up with some stuff. These actually are recognized in most places as a non-theistic religion.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's the same kind of thing. You've got this sense of community. They have secular Sunday school and things like that. So there's some other options out there besides regular religion.
Yeah, I mean, we've stopped going to church. It's one thing that my wife is a little upset about. She really enjoyed going to church. And, if you're in a pastor.
Well, then this could be a really good compromise.
Yeah, I guess it could be. And so the first one you said was the Unitarian University Society?
Unitarian Universalist.
Universalist.
Yeah, and sometimes they're just called UU.
Okay, Universalist. And the other one was the Ethical Cultural Society.
Yeah, ethical culture.
And these are like local groups that you can go to?
Yeah, UU churches are found pretty well scattered, so you should be able to find something somewhere nearby.
What would they teach? What would they?
Well, like I was saying, you could go in there and hear like a lecture on religious histories. It might not be a history of Christianity. It might be like a lecture on like something about Hindu or something. I mean, it's just huge. It's this big, embracive church. Somebody's letting us know it's been around for a while.
Yeah, we've actually even had Unitarian presidents. So I can't think of the name. John Adams, that's right.
So yeah, it's definitely it's more like a lecture format. It's not like a sermon format. You go in and they just sort of teach. They teach about different ideas. Sometimes they teach about like ethics or morality or social, like civic duty and things like that. So they have it's just a very sort of positive experience, and they're just not real. It's nothing critical. It's like you go in there and everybody's welcome, and if you don't believe, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find people that would define themselves as Christians. You'll find people that define themselves as atheists. Some that are Buddhists, maybe, or Wiccans or whatever. It's sort of like a BYOG, the bring your own God kind of thing.
And a lot of theists would probably feel comfortable there that aren't really into a specific doctrine, who just say, well, I believe in God, but I don't really like the whole doctrinal thing. You know? So,
what I've decided to do now is just, when they ask me questions, I'm going to answer them honestly.
I recommend that.
You have to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to change them or try to push anything down their throat. I think when they're old enough to start asking me questions, they already know that I believe in evolution. You know what I mean? And my wife explained to them, well, Daddy does believe in evolution, and that's God's plan for us to evolve. So we can take God out of the picture. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't, I wish somebody would have. I don't know what really woke me up was just seeing those crutches on the wall and saying, to my wife, how come you can only heal people with a limp? How come you can't? Why doesn't an amputee go up there and get a new arm?
Because they don't have sufficient faith, apparently.
They don't have sufficient faith. Why can't my friend who's a paraplegic get his spinal cord put back together? None of that ever happens. And what really, really did it when I started researching was the Dover trial. When you watch that was what I was waiting for, I guess, my whole life, to see the experts on religion or creation and the experts on evolution have it out.
Yeah.
Put it all on the table. Let's have a court case. And they got blown. The creationists got blown away.
Yeah.
Absolutely blown away. They didn't even, redirect or ask questions about testimony from the evolutionists. They just kind of stated what they wanted to state. And that's what really did it for me. So, and Ken Miller, you guys know who Ken Miller is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Christian.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Which I wrote to him, and he actually wrote me back, and I was surprised to find that out. So I know I've been on a while. I don't want to keep you guys.
That's all right.
This brings me to my last question. After finding out that he was like the real thing for me, that really kind of pushed me over the edge and made me become awake, as I like to say. And to find out that he was still a Christian, I started questioning. I'm the only one in my family who believes the way I believe. And I'm constantly asked, well, what are you now? You're not a Christian anymore? And, it's breaking my mother's heart.
I'm sure.
I've lost somebody in the family already who won't speak to me. They think I'm evil. They don't necessarily think I'm evil. They think I'm standing in a busy road and I'm about to be hit by a car, and they need to tell me to get out of the way.
And I don't mean, when I smile, I'm not laughing at your situation. I understand that this is serious for you. It's just, to me, it's just kind of ironically funny, sad, however you want to label it. It's hard for me to believe, the impact that religion has on families and society. Yeah. And I hate to hear it, but it's so ridiculous, even though I understand it's, personal for you.
Well, I tell you what, I've never felt so content,
Well, good.
I'm never going to burn in hell. I'm just, it's such a good feeling to know the truth, and I know I have it now. But constant questions from, say, especially my mother. Well, what are you now?
Okay.
And I don't know how to answer her. I looked at the definitions on your guys' website, and I'm still confused. I'll tell you my belief, and you give me a label, okay?
Well, here's a first question that might help, okay? There's a claim God exists. Do you accept that claim is true?
I don't know.
Okay, then you're an atheist, number one.
See, I thought I was agnostic, even because I'm using the word I don't know. I believe there's a God. I have no proof that there's one. I want to believe that there's one. I don't want to believe that we're worthy.
Okay, but when I asked you, I said there's a claim God exists, right? Mm. Do you believe that claim is true? If you believe God exists, then your answer to that question...
I think so.
Okay, then the answer is yes. That means you're a theist.
A theist.
Okay, that just simply means that you believe a God exists.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the difference between a theist and an agnostic?
Well, it's not a difference between them. It's two different things. So you're a theist because you believe a God exists.
Okay.
Now you followed that up with, but I don't know. I don't know. So it's kind of like if I were to say, I believe my husband is faithful, but I don't know. Okay? So I think it's true that he's faithful, but I understand I could be wrong.
Right.
And that's what you're saying. And that would make you an agnostic theist.
I'm an agnostic theist.
But if you're talking to your Catholic mother whom you wish to not have break her heart, you probably just want to say, I'm a theist, I still believe in God. You don't need to explain to her that you're not sure, and you can just tell your mom, I still believe in God. And if that's, for her, the fact that you're not Catholic is probably sufficient to just send her over the edge.